Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicky Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. Come on in the digital building. We are so pleased that you are with us today. Just a little bit of housekeeping, dear family, before we get into our topic. It is most interesting topic that we're going to be discussing. You know that there has been a lot of attacks on conscious Black people. Is that right, family? And we know specifically Minister Farrakhan. We understand that it's not just about Minister Farrakhan. When they attack Minister Farrakhan, we understand that he serves as a proxy for Black people in general. So when they're attacking him, they're really attacking us. Well, they've been doing this for some time now. And so some of our detractors have accused us of things that are simply not true. But they have avoided the debate for almost 40 years. God, today. And so I pulled an article from an admission from one of the greatest spokespersons and mouthpieces of our opposition, acknowledging his refusal to sit down and debate. Oh, we're getting ready to get into it today, baby. We're talking about Alan Dershowitz. Our housekeeping. As you come in, please come in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Would you do that, dear family? That's if you're watching us on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Please thumbs up, like, and share. If you happen to be watching us on one of our other platforms, make sure that you like, that you engage, that you share. Why do we do that? Because it helps to draw other folk into the broadcast, invite them to watch the Vicky Show on these platforms. Why? It also strengthens and elevates the Black voice. That's something that all of us are going to have to get involved in if we want to continue to be a viable force against white supremacy, meaning our voice being elevated. Somebody talk Black to me. I want to say a big shout out to my Instagram family. Instagram, I want you to get ready to come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Instagram, get ready to come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Also, dear family, be sure to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Shout out to you, Kevin Macon, for the first gift on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, supporting Black media. I bless it 1,000-fold. Kevin says, like your new hairstyle. Now, talk Black, Queen. Thank you so much. These are my braids. These are small braids, but I keep them curly. Somebody talk Black to me, and I'll swing these things all over the globe. God, today, we so appreciate your support of us. Also, dear family, this week I'm going to be starting up again my mastermind class. Of course, you all know I've been engaged in that for some time, but I'm getting ready to do a live question and answer. Go to clubvicky.com. That's clubvicky.com for all of the information. This is going to be an ongoing thing, exclusive. You'll have exclusive access to me there. And we're going to be talking about a few metaphysical gems, and I'll be answering your questions around those specific principles, beloved, and some of your other questions. You're going to experience me in a little different way. Thank you so very much. And again, don't forget, family, you can follow me on Instagram, my personal channel on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Again, thumbs up, be sure to like, be sure to share. Let's get ready to get into this thing with Alan Dershowitz. Again, he's a mouthpiece from some of our greatest detractors. But just before I do that, I want to say, some of you all have been giving. For example, one of our supporters, Erica, she often talks about how her friend behind bars, who is a CO inside the prison, is an actual prison guard, and she's talking about how she's trying to get my messaging into the prisons. I want you all to know that we will never forget our family that's behind bars. You all know that's near and dear to me because of my own years that I did in the belly of the beast in a federal prison. I'm thinking about my dear sister who held me down when I was in a different state, when they transported us from the transfer center in Oklahoma to the prison that I ended up being in Texas. Her name is Sonia S. And Sonia S was this sister was, okay, she was street. You hear me? She had an education and all that too, but she was street. She wasn't there for shaking hands and smiling and stuff. Somebody talk black to me. But while I was in the belly of the beast, my dear sister, shout out to you, Kim. That's another sister, Kim, my dear sister, Kim, that's in the digital building. Mwah, happy birthday, Kim. Y'all, please say happy birthday to Kim C that's in the chat right now. She is an extraordinary supporter of this network and me personal. I love you to pieces, Kim. Mwah, 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 Kim. But my homegirl, Sonia S. She was so down. She would try to tell me about some of these personalities that I was locked up with. I was going in there trying to say, hey, sister, how y'all doing? I'm sitting here trying to be all, girly and ladylike and stuff. And some of them people in prison, you can still say hello, but you don't say, hey, how you doing? You say, hey, how you doing? Well, this sister held me down. There are some haters. Y'all better talk black to me. I'm getting ready to get into this Alan Dershowitz in a minute. But I had some haters while I was locked up that was plotting against me, and I didn't even know about it because of her. Y'all don't even know what that means. I'm going to leave that alone. There was some trouble that I didn't know nothing about because she was handling stuff behind the scenes. God, today. And I found out later. And she didn't use normal means. Are y'all hearing me today? And when they was giving me the business and wouldn't even let me pray in peace when I was in the chapel. Do you know that this sister, y'all, let me tell you how gangster she is. Do you know that this sister, I'm trying to pray in the chapel. And she said, I got your back in the chapel. She was going to stand guard outside of the chapel to beat the brakes off of anybody that would try to prevent me from praying. Now I'm like, how you going to stand outside the chapel and defend me outside the chapel? I said, they don't even go together. She said, because when you pray, she said, I'm affected by your prayers. She said, if they're interrupting and messing with you spiritually, she said, they are messing with me spiritually. Y'all play too much. Somebody say, shout out to Sonia S. God will use strangers to bless you. Somebody on Instagram, Rob G said, damn, yeah, she did, baby. She was gangster. Shout out to my dear sister, Sonia S. That's how that went. She was a blessing. I said there was some stuff I didn't know nothing about. I learned some stuff later on she was doing behind the scenes for my haters. And let me tell you all something. I'm a strong believer in this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's an army. When you are divinely aligned, when you're divinely linked to the spirit, there's an army available to you that you can see and an army that you can't see. I don't know if my sister down in Texas somewhere can hear this shout out, but Sonia, I want you to know that you've got the world shouting you out right now, and I appreciate you holding me down, sis. Instagram, get ready to come on over to flynubianqueentv.com. Now, I just wanted to do that real quick, and shout out to my sister Kim, and happy birthday to you. It's important that we understand that I might be the face of the Vicky show, but you all, those names that I just called out and many more are the wind beneath my wings. This works because of us. And I want to thank you. Somebody talk black to me. Here we go. Let's get ready to get into it. So we understand now that our dear brother Nick Cannon, our brother Deshaun Jackson, we understand even as of late, Charlemagne the God, I did a show on him last Friday. And others, what's that basketball player, that little short basketball player? I think he might be retired now. What's that basketball player, guys, who put up a picture a couple days ago of him and Minister Farrakhan, but then he snatched it back down, I think he did, or at least gave us some kind of an apology, distancing himself. Allen Iverson, that's what his name is, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, watch this. So Allen Iverson is one of the latest too. Now, you all know that when I'm encouraging my brothers to stand up like a man, to resist, it's written in the book of James to resist the devil and he'll flee. So when we're talking about a devil, we're using the principles from scripture. That's the language the scripture used when it refers to an opposer, right? The scripture in the book of James says to do what? Resist the what, family? And he'll do what? What does it say? Y'all tell me what the good book says. Resist. Submit to God, it says first. Resist. And he'll flee, right? But not too many, too often, some of our brothers and sisters may be threatened behind the scenes. Perhaps some of their families are threatened, their finances, their bags, and so forth are threatened. And so they too often submit when those who oppose us, those who have fleeced us, those who have taken advantage of us, those who have stole from us, those who are responsible for the destruction of our people. Too often, we quickly submit to them. You all understand when I'm talking about our brothers, I'm not dogging my brothers. I love what one of my family, blood family said. He says, you know what? He said, for the record, Black people did not cancel Nick Cannon. His enemies, they canceled him. We counsel, they cancel. Somebody talk Black to me. Somebody say, we counsel. In other words, we give advice, we urge, we encourage you to stand up and stand strong. But they're the ones that cancel you. They're the ones that's trying to snatch your bag. They're the ones, according to you, that even stole your $1 billion idea. Lord, have mercy. They're the ones, according to you, that's refusing to even do, commercials and stuff that have to do with supporting our dead brothers and sisters who've been martyred in this holy uprising. Y'all better talk Black to me. So don't get Vicky's encouraging my brother to stand up like a man, to join on with his people, to unify us with us as me dogging my brother. That's not what I'm doing. That's my way of encouraging you. That's my way of pointing out your greatness in you. Are y'all hearing me today? So I don't want to get that twisted. And I want to also say that my target always is white supremacy. If you're not a white supremacist, then I'm not talking about you. But my target is always to attack the systems and entities of white supremacy, right? But if one of you bones and biscuits, somebody say biscuits, somebody say one of you fried pieces of fried chicken, and you ain't just a regular fried chicken, you like that white meat fried chicken. Those of you white meat fried chicken, y'all like that part of the chicken only. Some of you bones and biscuits. Some of you that kowtow to white supremacists and white supremacy and dog your own people and attack your own people. You jump in the way of the target. Here we are trying to hold them accountable, and then you jump out there to defend them. You jump out there to give them the benefit of the doubt. You jump out there to try to say, well, they didn't mean this and they didn't mean that. And you jump out there and wag your finger at us and tell us to shut up. You are the one that's getting in the way of the target. So when you get in the way of the target, guess what? You get hit. Not because you were the intended target, but because you chose to get in the way of that. Bones and biscuits. Got a rehab for you. I got people lining up right now trying to sponsor you because of your sick love for your open enemy. I'm trying to get you cured. I'm trying to stop all those shakes. Shout out to you, Louise, for your gift. Thank you, sister, for your work. May the Lord bless and keep you. I receive that, and I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Family, keep on coming in, giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Again, don't forget to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Let's get ready to get into it. Let's get ready to get into it. Instagram, come on over to Fly Nubian Queen because I need to use this device so that I can share the article with the family. FlyNubianQueenTV.com. I'm live right now. Don't forget, family, I am typically here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Shout out to you, Erica. There she goes. I bless your gift, Erica, 1,000-fold. Peace and blessings, Queen. My deputy friend played your videos over the weekend. She's trying to get you in live so the inmates can talk to you. Well, God willing, he'll open the door. I would love to, beloved. God willing, my health and strength and everything else come together, all of the technical things that need to happen. I trust God to make it happen. Thank you so much for pushing for that. And I also want to say to my sister Kim, I don't say her last name because, I don't want to put that out there unless she gives me official permission to do that. But one of my beautiful sisters, who's an extraordinary supporter of mind and ours. Shout out to you, Deborah. Bless you, my sister. Thank you. Bless you back. I get this from several different people, but I wanted to use my dear sister. For example, she said that one of her family members are watching the Vicky show behind bars on an iPad. I don't think you all understand how powerful that is. You all have heard top scholars and y'all have heard of MSNBC folks and CNN folks, and you've heard of R&B singers and all those kind of people that support, watch the show, or reject me. Told you I was able to talk to a DA out of Atlanta. The greatest honors of my life to have a personal invitation from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's office to invite me to hear him over the 4th of July holiday, to which my mother and I had the high privilege of attending in his garden. But one of the greatest things, my sister Kim just said it, that's my brother. I made him download Fly Nubian. Okay, so I'll say it since she said it. My sister Kim C. So I don't want you, see, you guys, they're bearing witness to what I'm saying. I get these type of testimonies from you guys. Y'all send me all kind of testimonies. People in real estate that tells me that their real estate business is booming, and they'll turn around and they'll send a seed and they say, that's because of you. God, today, my sister said her brother is watching me behind bars on an iPad. Do you all know that that's one of the greatest honors of my life? That these words are making their way behind enemy lines. Do you all hear me? Your support of this network, your support of me, you liking, sharing, subscribing, making known the Vicky Show on FlyNubianQueenTV.com and our associate platforms, that's what makes this possible. Our reach is extraordinary. It's not only because of the number of people that we reach each week. Dr. Boyce and his affiliate organizations, we're potentially reaching about 1 million people a week. Again, along with his affiliate companies. But the idea that our words are making it behind prison walls, family, that's huge. And I'm so grateful. I was thinking about how you can never discount the power of words making its way through the world in the most fascinating places. If my words are behind enemy lines, that's a seed. How many of you all know that a seed is a small thing? But if that seed is nurtured, God, today, that seed can produce a mighty harvest. I was reminded, I don't know if you all, some of you all very likely knew this. Let me take a sip. By the way, I'm drinking my water here out of my Fly Nubian mug that you can get at our store at shopfnq.com. You can tell mine is well worn. I done scratched it up and everything because I've had it for a while. Shopfnq.com. Get all of your apparel at shopfnq.com. I was reminded of some of our ancestors when they realized that they were getting ready to be brought to a new world that they knew nothing about, when they were kidnapped violently. By avaricious predators, killers, rapists. Do you know that some of your ancestors put seeds in some of the black women's hair and they braided the seeds and they put the seeds inside of their braided hair? Do you all know that some of the food that we have in the United States are not native to this part of the world. They brought them here when they were in when they realized that they were being kidnapped and enslaved. Shout out to you, Nancy, for your gift. Another major supporter of ours. Queen Vicky, you are reaching millions. Thank you, Nancy. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Nancy is another one. That small seed, even in captivity. And notice that they braided the seed. They put the seed inside of braided hair. Close to the brain, close to the mind. When that seed gets in that brain and that head, even behind enemy lines, God today, they'll shake prison walls. I believe that. Now let me get ready to get into it. Thank you all so much for your patience as I discussed that. But I wanted to say shout out to our beautiful family that's listening to us behind the wall. We love you. Listen. So you all know about all of the warfare that we've been dealing with lately with our haters, right? Them trying to control Black thought. Is that right, family? Them trying to control Black thought. Watch this. One of the things that we know is during slavery, they continued to do that during slavery and also shortly thereafter. They always made sure that they was controlling the information we were receiving. Remember, that's what I was telling you before, why they made it illegal for us to read and write. How when Black folks, when we used to meet, they made sure that there was always a white person present when we met. You know, when there were several of us meeting together and so forth. And then when they did allow us to read and write, they began to control what we were reading. They put lies and misinformation in that. It was always about controlling the mind, right? That's how they remote control you. So the latest I wanted to remind you all of, and I'm giving you this as a talking point. When our haters falsely accuse us of being anti this, anti that, anti this, anti that, when our open enemy have the nerve to call the most oppressed people on the planet, planted. That's what Diamond and Silk calls. When they tell us who experienced some of the most inhumane treatment any group of people have ever experienced for longer. Don't ever forget that part. Nobody can say 465 years of unmitigated hell. We're the only ones that have that distinction. And not that we want it, but we have it. When they have the nerve to call us and our men misogynist, homophobic, hating trans folk, calling us anti-Semitic, saying all of these different things. All of these antis, we reject. That's their attempts to put these false labels. Let's say it together. That's their attempt to put false labels on us to take the attention off of them. It's a trick. It's reverse psychology to tell the 465-year victim to turn us into the perpetrator, into the offender. But baby, that small town stuff ain't gonna work on us. Projecting that madness onto us. Let me tell you what's happened. I'm talking to you about this story today with Alan Dershowitz because Alan Dershowitz is one of the mouthpieces that's loudly accusing Minister Farrakhan and others of us attacking Black people. I want you to know this is the same fella, this former Harvard law professor who's revered for some reason all over the world. He's also one of the attorneys that represented Donald Trump during his impeachment. It was Alan Dershowitz that was pushing this idea that Donald Trump is above the law. But it's a new day. Watch this. When these haters come out and accuse us of all kinds of things, family, one of the main things I want you to understand, one of the main things I want you to say and call them on is this story right here. The first story I'm pulling today is from, let me pull it up here, got it right here. Here we go, Israel National News. Watch this. Israel National News, here's the headline. This is from 2018. You see the headline? This is Alan Dershowitz. This is this attorney. And we're getting ready to talk about this fella. We're getting ready to talk about this former Harvard law professor that's revered all over the world. We're getting ready to talk a little bit about his background too. Allegations that's concerning him. We're getting ready to we're going to impeach this witness, God, today. Y'all better talk black to me. Oh, we're holding court today. This is a court that really matters. A powerful voice for black people. Shout out to you, Alfonso, and others. I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Watch this. 1,500 plus of you in the chat. We're so pleased that you're with us today. My name is Vicky Dillard. By the way, I'm here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Again, don't forget to come in liking, sharing, and subscribing. Liking, sharing, and subscribing. Would you? This article that was written in about 2018, I'm letting you know this because, see, the mainstream media is not going to let you know the things that have been happening behind the lines, behind the scenes, but I'm going to let you know. It says Alan Dershowitz pushes back on Farrakhan's showdown challenge. Veteran jurist rejects Nation of Islam's leaders' call for public debate. Somebody put in the chat, public debate. Some of you did not know that there was an official invitation to publicly debate by Minister Farrakhan and his people these false allegations against them and us by extension. So before you even get into the details of somebody trying to tell you as a black person who you have the right to listen to, as they're dictating you, telling you you can listen to that one and who you can't listen to. Mind you, it's our open enemies, the very people that raped, robbed, sodomized, and set us on fire, burned our bodies, stole our label, and that continues to oppress us today. They're the ones that's telling us who our leaders are supposed to be, as if we can trust their advisement. Somebody say, how dare you? Let me keep reading. Watch this. It reads, former Harvard law professor and prominent defense attorney Alan Dershowitz rejected a call by Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan for a public debate and slammed Democratic leaders for, quote, legitimizing the controversial black supremacist figure. Notice how they put black supremacists. They're using language that they know is specific and accurate to white supremacists. They're trying to create what's the word I'm looking for? Comparative. Yes. That's what we're calling it. Comparative bigotry. Black family. There is no such thing as black folks being racist. Being racist is not about being biased or prejudiced. Being racist and participating in racist systems, white supremacist systems, are systems and people and individuals that have the power to control your life. Black folks don't have enough law enforcement agencies to run your life and to lock you up. Black folk don't have enough judges to give you long and unjust sentences to ruin your life and the lives of your family and the lives of black communities. Separating families for real. You got folks tripping about children, illegals, separating families for illegal people that are not even citizens of this, a citizen of the country, but you don't see similar outrage to those that you're throwing in cages that have been ruining black families for centuries. We don't have a Wall Street to redline you with. Shout out to you, Jamila, for your gift. Thank you, Vicky. We love you. I love you back. We don't control the systems of the world to affect your lives. So the idea that they would even throw that language in there is creating a false equivalent. Somebody say a false equivalent. And Black family, even if you don't remember all of these things that I'm saying, all you need to remember for most of these arguments is hashtag 465. 465 means what? 465 years of unmitigated hell that white supremacists have brought on our lives. Baby, nobody has that history. And don't you dare try to make that distinction. They wish that when they do that, they're doing it to make it look like that those who are near 5th-century victims also are responsible for oppressing other folk too. Somebody say there's no such thing, baby. False equivalence. Watch this. Let me keep reading. Let me keep reading. Because you got to know this. It goes on to talk about a message that he gave at Mosque Mariam in Chicago and talking about a showdown. Watch this. Minister Farrakhan, the article says, during a sermon, at Mosque Mariam in Chicago last week, the 85-year-old, right now Minister Farrakhan, I believe is 87, Nation of Islam chief called for, quote, a showdown between himself and prominent American Jewish critics, including Dershowitz and the Anti-Defamation League's Jonathan Greenblatt. A showdown? Why not? We're ready to die for what we believe. So come on, Mr. Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL, and bring Mr. Abraham Foxman with you. Come on out, Alan Dershowitz. People who have the truth are not afraid to publicly put it before the people. But to this demand and request that was made some time ago, Alan Dershowitz rejected. So those of you who are out there talking about, I don't stand with Minister Farrakhan because he said this and he said that. First of all, those things that they're accusing him of are lies. That's number one. And number two, instead of you being such a quick bootleg, instead of you being such a bona fide bones and biscuits, instead of you rushing to defend the indefensible killers of our people, why don't you take your time and first of all, wipe all of that juice from the chicken off your mouth. Once you're done wiping the juice off, brush off the crumbs from the biscuits. Somebody told like to me that you just gobble down. Once you do that, then you can take a breath and say, you know what? Instead of me being so quick to believe what my open enemy says, accusing my brother, I'm taking the word over y'all, over him. The people that sodomized my daddy, impregnated my mama, made her be a wet nurse for your white supremacist children, stole our labor, put the whip to our backs, dismembered our bodies. I'm supposed to take your word? Before you be so quick to do that, first thing you ought to say is, you know what? I don't even have to say I agree with Minister Farrakhan. I don't have to even say I agree with anybody over in that camp. All I have to do is say, why don't you all do an open showdown? Why don't you just say, why don't you all take it to the public, bring your scholars, and they'll bring theirs, and then put it before the world. Why don't you do that to see who's telling the truth? Why don't you say that? Well, for the record, somebody say for the record. The Vicky Show believes in having a record because we hold court here today. For the record, that's exactly what they've done And that's exactly what the Alan Dershowitz of the world have avoided doing. And the question becomes, why? Mr. Alan Dershowitz, who is a revered former Harvard law professor that taught for decades and decades and decades. You had the ear to numerous presidents, high-profile politicians, high-profile people. You understand the power of a good argument. You understand how to put evidence together in order to make your point. What are you running from, law professor? Why, Alan Dershowitz, would you avoid a debate if you are telling the truth? If you are telling the truth, what you running for? Can y'all put some running emojis in the chat for me? And while you do that, I want the rest of you that already have it, keep giving us the thumbs up, liking and sharing. If you're watching us on FlyNewBeQueenTV.com, if you're watching us on one of our other platforms, please like, share, and subscribe, would you? What are you running for? Watch this. Alan Dershowitz says, when he was confronted by why aren't you willing to sit down and do an open debate, if the allegations that you've lodged against them, if they're true, why don't you debate it? If you're calling him a bigot, debate it. If you're saying he's giving misinformation, debate it publicly. He says he rejects it, saying that you are legitimizing a bigot. Don't forget him saying that. Alan Dershowitz, the so-called esteemed law professor. I see y'all putting those running emojis in there. The so-called esteemed law professor says he's not going to sit down, quote unquote, with the bigot, but he keeps putting out all of these false allegations. He's throwing out all kinds of labels, and he's not backing it up. Would you all help me impeach this witness? Do you all know that's a such thing that you do in court? When someone gets ready to testify, when you bring a witness, you call a witness to the stand. Their goal, the other side, the opposite side, in an adversarial setup, when you have plaintiffs, right, and defendants, right? Is that right, family? When you have the prosecution and the defense in a criminal proceeding, you want to impeach that other person's witness. You call into question their credibility, right? You're trying the case. Let's get ready to impeach this witness. The problem with the Alan Dershowitz of the world, what you scared of, coward? Watch this. Watch this. I went digging around, dear family. Y'all know how I do. I went digging around. And first of all, and I reminded myself of just who this man is. Now I'm reading to you from an NPR piece from the summer of 2019, from a law piece from NPR that states Alan Dershowitz denies Epstein rape accusations and defends role in sweetheart deal. That's the headline from NPR. Do you all see that? Alan Dershowitz denies Epstein rape accusations. This is the witness that's accusing Minister Farrakhan of being a bigot. This is the person that's lodging these unjust allegations against him and trying to silence other black folk. This is who we're dealing with. How many times have I taught you guys and reminded you of what's written in the book of Genesis, right? How many times have I reminded you, beloved family, in Genesis, you know it by now, where it stated, chapter 3, that the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. I'm not calling nobody a wild animal. The book is referring to wild animals. Somebody say stuff that belongs outside. Can you put outside in the chat? Can you put campers? We're not name calling. What does it say again, chapter 3? Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord has made. So we don't have to name call. See, when the scriptures is using terms to describe people, using animal terms, it's describing what? A particular trait. God today. We keeping it classy. Watch this. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord had made. He said to the woman, did God really say? I'm not going to go through all of this. Did God really say? Did God really say? Somebody say it's a war of words. It's a war of words. There was warfare from the beginning. After he engages in this conversation with the woman to try and contradict or sow doubt, because for the most part, the devil was just simply asking questions. How many of you all know that in the court of law in the United States, they have a little thing that's called reasonable doubt? Y'all stop. Y'all better talk black to me. We have a thing in America, in our court system, that's called reasonable doubt. So the serpent in Genesis at times is not even explicitly saying God lied. He's just so in doubt and asking questions saying, did God say? And see, that's what gets some of you. You quickly believe the lies of your open enemy because they're able to sow a seed of doubt. They're able to make your sister or your brother that really do loves black people, that really are serving you, trying to be good to you. They just sow a little bit of doubt in your mind and you automatically, Lord have mercy. Reasonable doubt. What does God say after that? I'm skipping. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord called to the man, where are you? Oh, I could work that question alone, but I'm not fixing to go there. He answered, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. Verse 11, chapter 3 of Genesis, read it later. And he said, who told you that you were naked? Adam and the woman hid. God rightly discerned the fact that your actions, what you do, tells me who you listen to. Somebody say the mark of the beast. God, today I'm revelating. What did we say? We know the book of Revelation says that the mark of the beast will be held in the what? The forehead and what? And in the right hand. I can tell the mark of the beast. I can tell the influence of the beast based on how you think and what you do. That's what the hand symbolizes. Adam hiding was a mark of the beast. And didn't I start it out by telling you that verse 1 in chapter 3 of Genesis said what? Now the serpent was more crafty than any of what? Of the wild animals or the beasts of the field, right? I can tell who you're listening to by what you're producing or not producing in your life. I can tell who you're listening to by what you say and what you think. How many of you all know that one of the first signs, one of the greatest signs, the primary signs that you use to tell whether or not somebody is from here or not is what is their accent. It's how they speak. Watch this. We're talking about behaviors, characteristics, and traits. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. 1,900 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicky Show. I'm going to keep reading from this NPR article. As I do that, on the count of 3, for those of you that haven't, hit that thumbs up button, would you? Thank you for your patience as I continue to remind you to do that. You got to understand there are people that are coming in and out of the show. That's the nature of being online. So thank you for your patience while I'm inviting other folks to join into the growth of the show by thumbs up, liking, sharing, subscribing. If you're watching us on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, if you're watching us elsewhere, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, the NPR article says multimillionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein, this at the time that this was written, by the way, this was 2019. It says over a decade ago, I'm skipping, Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz represented Epstein when he was fighting similar charges in Palm Beach County, Florida. It says Dershowitz helped negotiate the sweetheart deal that allowed him a work release provision through his 13 months in Palm Beach County jail. Epstein accusers Sarah Ransom, Maria Farmer, and Virginia Guffrey had also leveled allegations against Dershowitz. Dershowitz is the one that has the nerve to level allegations against false allegations against the minister and other black folk. But we're getting ready to look at who told you that. Isn't that the reason why I read Genesis 3? What did God ask? Who told you that? And we knew that was a serpent that had been in the ear of Adam and the woman. So we got to look who's telling us this. We're looking at Epstein today. Watch this. The Epstein's accusers didn't just leave their allegations. They didn't just level allegations against Epstein. Watch this. These accusers, at least 3 of them, Sarah, Maria, and Virginia, have also leveled allegations against Dershowitz in court filings and defamation lawsuits. Dershowitz denies the accusations adamantly, and in an interview with NPR's Noel King, he clarifies his relationship with Epstein. He says, "No, I have no relationship with him. I haven't seen him in years, and I haven't spoken to him in months." Listen to this. Occasionally, his current lawyers will call to ask me questions about the plea deal, but I have no current legal relationship with him or personal relationship. On his personal relationship with Epstein, Dershowitz, I was friends in the way that Larry Summers, the president of Harvard, was friends in the way with David Gergen, and the way that Stephen Jay Gould, we all knew him academically. We had an office at Harvard University in Brattle Square, and he would conduct seminars, and we would all attend his seminars, and he goes on and on, rather. Right? King asked him this question. Y'all pay attention to this thing. As I understand it, shout out to you, Candy, for your $50 gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. You're absolutely right, Queen. Call these liars what they are. My son will listen to you intently. But I bless your son and your family 1,000-fold. Listen, King, as I understand it, you've been an overnight guest at his homes. At his homes, plural. Y'all talk black to me. This is the person that's questioning him, King. As I understand it, you've been an overnight guest at his homes. You flew with him on his private jet a number of times. You borrowed his Palm Beach house for a family vacation. That doesn't sound like an academic relationship. Somebody say, who told you that? God today. Watch what Alan Dershowitz says in response. I never had a kind of social relationship where we had dinner together or we had discussions about our personal lives. Our relationship was predominantly academic. No, somebody say, that's a lie. Notice how he didn't deny the fact that he was an overnight guest at his homes, plural. The man had multiple homes. You were a guest at his homes, plural, multiple homes of his. You flew with him on his private jet a number of times. You borrowed his Palm Beach house for a family vacation. Somebody talk black to me. That doesn't sound like mere academics. This is the witness that we're impeaching today. Feel free to send Alan Dershowitz, the ADL, and the rest of them this link and tell them we're holding court today. All rise. On allegations that one of Epstein's accusers was made to have sex with Dershowitz. By the way, family, these are allegations. Some would say credible allegations. Here's a response. Well, not only am I saying it didn't happen, I have categorical evidence that we never met. I have all of my travel records that show I couldn't have been in the places that she said I was. I have a reported admission from her own lawyer, David Bowies, I believe is how you pronounce it, who said it would be impossible for me to be in those places and that his client was wrong, simply wrong. So I'm not just denying, I'm saying I never met this woman. She made up the whole story out of a whole cloth for financial reasons. Yeah, now y'all pay attention to that. Pay attention to how folks, quote unquote, deny the allegations. So these are what some would say credible allegations, but Dershowitz has denied it. But this lady isn't backing up. Of course, we know there were several that accused him, but watch this. So y'all, I'm a quick, that's enough from that article. I pulled up another piece. I want to tell you what his wife said. I pulled up another piece. Watch this. I pulled up another article. We're impeaching this funny looking witness today. This article I'm reading from now is from courthousenews.com, where it says Epstein accuser wants more defamation claims against Alan Dershowitz. Epstein accuser wants more defamation claims against Alan Dershowitz. So Alan Dershowitz is accused of sexually assaulting or raping a young child. Not a consenting older adult, or for that matter, not even a non-consenting adult. That doesn't make it any better. But we're dealing with a child who was a child at the time. Watch this. This piece says, Alan Dershowitz's new book, Guilt by Association. Oh, I'm skipping that part. Virginia Guffey's attorney, that's one of the accusers, right? Virginia Guffey's attorney, Charles Cooper, asked a judge for permission to file the new charges Monday during a hearing to chart the course of discovery in New York litigation. A prominent lawyer who represented Epstein before the sex offender's prison death in August, Dershowitz had seen his reputation in the legal community increasingly strained as multiple accusers, somebody say multiple accusers have tied him to his client's sex trafficking ring. This is who's got the nerve to fix his lips against Minister Farrakhan. Watch this. Guffey is also considering allegations under the Child Victims Act, a New York law that took effect in August, extending the statute of limitations for childhood sexual abuse, her lawyer noted Monday. Dershowitz's attorney, Howard Cooper, bristled at the assertion. I think there is irrefutable proof that she wasn't a child and doesn't qualify. Guffey's legal team seeks evidence of Dershowitz's other sexual partners, but U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska appeared skeptical about the maneuver. Whether Mr. Dershowitz had relations with other women in Epstein's house, do we care? Preska asked at Monday's hearing. Answering in the affirmative, Charles Cooper argued that Dershowitz made the issue relevant. Mr. Dershowitz's denial is quite sweeping. Y'all watch this. This is the place for intelligent Black people. Watch this. Thank you, Kendall, for your gift. I love you back. Watch this. Mr. Dershowitz's denial is quite sweeping, Charles Cooper told the judge, quoting the professor as saying he never had sex with anyone other than his wife. Howard Cooper from the Boston-based firm Todd and Well replied that investigating that statement would exceed the bounds of acceptable discovery, or priority or propriety rather. Listen to this though. I'm skipping on down. Guthrie's attorney assured the judge that the discovery that they seek is not quite so expansive. A founding member of his Washington-based firm, Cooper and Kirk, Charles Cooper, said he does not intend to probe Dershowitz' denials of extramarital affairs generally so much as whether he had sex with anyone in connection with Epstein's operation. Y'all watch this. I'm going to skip to the end of this. Don't forget clubvicky.com on Wednesdays. Every Wednesdays, I'm going to be answering questions live in an exclusive, private mastermind class. Go to clubvicky.com. Somebody put it in the chat. Watch this. Guthrie's attorney, that's one of his accusers. Guthrie's attorneys want a closer look, however, at some of the videos Kessler had been peddling. One reportedly showed a man with glasses. Y'all, please listen to this. One of the videos that Kessler has been peddling, one reportedly showed a man with glasses who resembled Dershowitz having sex with a woman. Shown the footage by the Times, Dershowitz's wife, Carolyn Cohen, responded, "You don't keep your glass." This is a quote. There's a video. And again, these are allegations, family. Some would say credible allegations. But these are allegations about the man that has the nerve to point to upstanding and righteous black men. He's got this he's dealing with. Alan Dershowitz's wife was shown the video. And this is what Alan Dershowitz's wife said. Shown the footage by the Times, Dershowitz's wife, Carolyn Cohen, responded, quote, "You don't keep your glasses on when you're doing that." This video footage that they're trying to get more of, Guthrie's attorneys want a closer look. However, at some of the videos Kessler had been peddling, one reportedly showed a man with glasses who resembled Dershowitz having sex with a woman. Watch this. According to the courthousenews.com, not according to Vicky. Y'all know everything I've said here. I've given you receipts of who said it and where it came from, right? This is the third article I'm reading to you from. His wife, shown the footage by the Times, Dershowitz's wife, Carolyn Cohen, responded, quote, "You don't keep your glasses on when you're doing that." Her name's Carolyn. Her stepsister's name is Gretchen. Her mom's name is Karen. Her auntie's name is Becky. Did you catch that drift? Somebody talking back to me. I'm being tongue-in-cheek on that. Her name is Carolyn for real. But when Carolyn saw that video of that man that they said that resembles Dershowitz having sex with a woman. Thank you, Michelle. I can finally send money on my phone today. Thank you. We bless your gift, Michelle. Watch this. She says, quote, "You don't keep your glasses on when you're doing that part. Let's impeach this witness a little more." Can we do that? Can we impeach this witness a little more? Black family? Watch this. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Welcome to the Vicky Show. My name is Vicky Dillard, and I'm normally here weekdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're talking a little bit about Alan Dershowitz, this man that accuses Minister Farrakhan of being a bigot and so many other things. This man who's trying to instigate punishment for other black people that choose to support him and other black people who choose to think for ourselves. This is one of the voices. These are one of the men that's trying to control black thought. This is one of the men that's trying to censor black voices. Baby, we're pushing back. And we're pushing back with shows just like this one. Watch this. Keep liking and sharing. I went to the New Yorker. Y'all ready for this? Remember Alan Dershowitz's reason? Do you all remember why he said he's refusing to do a public debate to test what we know to be the many lies and false allegations that he's been pushing? Are y'all hearing me today? Alan Dershowitz, remember he says the reason he won't sit down with Minister Farrakhan is he said, I'm not going to sit down with a bigot, right? Watch this. I pulled up some information from another article that I was reading through called The New Yorker from some months back. Watch what this New Yorker said. It says, the title of this piece from The New Yorker is called The Devil's Advocate. For those of you all that understands Alan Dershowitz's history, not only is he accused, and there are allegations of him committing rape against a young girl. Again, these are allegations, and he's denied them, but they're being tested in court right now. Watch this. The last that we've heard, at least. There's been some pushback with trying to prevent the case from going forward. But we know that there have been lawsuits, right? I just read to you some details from some. Listen. It says that Dershowitz established himself as a civil libertarian with a particular interest in the rights of the mentally ill. He says he's an impassioned First Amendment advocate. He defended neo-Nazi speech and pornography, starting with I Am Curious Yellow, an earnestly smutty Swedish film released in 1967. I think you might have missed what I just said. According to The New Yorker, he's defended neo-Nazi speech. Alan Dershowitz says that the reason why that he's not going to meet with Minister Farrakhan is because he won't sit down with a bigot. Well, Alan Dershowitz, let's keep impeaching this witness. Alan, how is it? Why is it that you would defend neo-Nazi speech? Make that make sense. If you're not lying on Minister Farrakhan and his people, why don't you accept his invitation to go publicly before the world? Bring your scholars, bring your researchers. He'll bring his scholars, he'll bring his researchers, and then we'll take it before the world. If you're not hiding anything, make that make sense. You said that you're not going to sit down with a bigot, but you will defend a neo-Nazi? Something suspicious about this. You didn't just sit down with the neo-Nazi. You defended them. Somebody talk black to me. Somebody talk black to me. That's not all, family. Why is Alan Dershowitz making the rounds on television? Some of the major outlets that cannot stand Black folks that we love, Black folks that are exposing our open enemies, oppressive tactics against us. Networks and channels, shall I say, networks like ABC that have on The View. Do you all know that The View has had on Alan Dershowitz a lot of times? The very people that's accusing the minister refuse to bring him or his attorneys or his spokesperson or his research team on to speak for themselves and to defend themselves. But these are the same people that have on racist, like Dog the Bounty Hunter. What's his name? Is that his name? Other white supremacists, open white supremacists. But they won't bring on a righteous man that's falsely accused to at least ask them for himself. Watch this. Watch this. Alan likes to talk too much. I think he gave us a clue as to why he makes the round on the media. So instead of him sitting down in a debate to bring his evidence, he utilizes the media. Watch this. Watch this. Shout out to you making changes for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Making changes says we love Minister Farrakhan and he loves us. That's right, beloved. Listen. Understand, family, when I'm talking about the minister, understand that I'm talking about black folks in general. Because when they're attacking him because of the good of the whole of black society. You all got to understand this is not about a religion or one individual man. Do you understand that? This is about an attack on black people. Minister Farrakhan is one of the primal things that stands in the way of some of the greater things that they intended to do to us. Watch this. Guess what else this article gives us some insight from Alan? Nancy Gertner, a former federal judge who worked with Dershowitz in the late 70s and now teaches at Harvard Law, told me, quote, he's very brilliant just in the sense of the speed at which his mind works and how prolific he is in turning out thoughts. From the beginning of his career, Gertner said, quote, y'all listen. From the beginning of his career, he had the imagination to see strategies and arguments other people don't. He also understood, this is key. He also understood, before most of his peers did, the value of deploying the media. When you hear the word deploy, you often hear that word deploy used in military sense. Is that right, family? Because this is war, family. When he activates the media, it is an act of war to strategically and deliberately assault the minister and black society at large. Watch this. She said he understood before most of his peers did the value of deploying the media. As he wrote in his 2013 memoir, Taking the Stand, listen to what Alan Dershowitz said some years ago, family. Pay attention. If you don't have the law or legal facts on your side, argue your case in the court of public opinion. God, today I'm giving y'all some secrets. Mr. Allen, we're going to impeach you in the absence of having an uncooperative witness. We're going to use your own words at other times against you, Allen. Mr. Dershowitz. See, Mr. Dershowitz, the reason why you're making the rounds utilizing the media to attack black men and black society, and Minister Farrakhan specifically. The reason you refuse to show up publicly and debate him using the facts, we're going to take your own words and use them against it. It's because you know you're lying. Mr. Dershowitz, is it not true in your 2013 memoir entitled Taking the Stand that you said if you don't have the law or legal facts on your side, argue your case in the court of public opinion? Is this the reason, coward, you're refusing to sit down and openly debate this using facts? Is this the reason you're making the rounds using media, making statements in printed publications instead? Y'all send this link to Alan Dershowitz. Send this link to those of his ilk. And family, even if you don't believe in everything that the minister is doing and other folks doing, just turn around and ask his haters, those that's accusing him of stuff. Look into their past a little bit. And first of all, say what God said. Who told you that? Take a look at who's the one that's accusing. Because also, what else does the scripture describes these people as? The accuser of the brethren. Is that right? trait of our opposer, is that they're always accusing. But Mr. Dershowitz, watch this, watch this. Mr. Alan Dershowitz, you said in 2013 in your memoir, taking a stand, that when you don't have the law or legal facts on your side, argue your case in the court of public opinion. This is the reason why, family. It seems to me, based on belief and based on information that we just gave you here, that he recognizes that he lies. He has no facts to substantiate these false allegations. So he's utilizing the media, deploying the court of public opinion to crucify one of our own. That dog ain't gonna hunt here, baby. On the count of three, for those of you that haven't, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you study out the word prosecutor, you'll find that one of the adjectives in terms of the root of where that word comes from, it has connections to the word accuser, an adversary, the prosecutor. You can even hear it in the pronunciation. And it's no wonder that you find a lot of these folks that work in law. I heard someone recently say this. They said that they were watching a movie and they said this line was in the movie where they wanted to know why this particular person decided to utilize the law for their wickedness. And they said that because law is in everything. Isn't that true? The reason why you find so many wicked men and women in law, especially those of the dominant society, especially those who are white supremacists, is because that they know that law is in everything. Law is what controls nearly every aspect of your life. And so for them to do that undercover, they typically go into these types of professions like law and like law enforcement so that they can commit their wickedness with the protection of the law and law enforcement. Do you all see that? Listen. Watch this. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, keep liking and sharing. Alan Dershowitz's family also came under fire a lot for his positions on lowering the age for having sex with underage children. He was a big proponent of that in terms of, I think, his statutory rape. That's suspect. But some of his positions, even his lectures and so forth, came under fire about sexism and misogyny, right? One of the things that's said here in this New Yorker piece is that Dershowitz acknowledged the parody of was somewhat offensive. That was something that he had said earlier regarding sexism and misogyny claims. He's quote, he's saying here, the overreaction to the spoof is a reflection of the power of women and blacks to define the content of what is politically correct and incorrect on college and law school campuses. Did you all hear that? Here he is being accused of inappropriate thought processes and positioning and lectures on sexism and misogyny. And listen to what this funny looking camper said. He says the overreaction to the spoof is a reflection of the power of women and blacks to define the content of what is politically correct and incorrect. He invokes black folk into a conversation that had to do with his belief systems and his lectures and his ideology concerning sexism and misogyny. Watch this. He goes on to say, he wrote rather, quote, radical feminists can accuse all men of being rapists and radical African Americans can accuse all whites of being racist without fear of discipline and rebuke. You all hear him? Instead of him just focusing on stuff related to sexism and his sexual alleged perversions and what some would call sick, twisted ideology. Some might even call him a sexual deviant. These are just things that are out there. These are allegations, family. I'm making that disclaimer. He wants to throw black folk in this mix. Again, writing, radical feminists can accuse all men of being rapists, and radical African Americans can accuse all whites of being racist without fear of discipline or rebuke. Did you all hear that? This is who's accusing our people. Shout out to our Paris family. Shout out to Queen Vicky. I really love your daily shows. I'm sharing them. Love from Paris. I love you back, Paris, and I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Thank you so much for your support. But then, family, I thought about this. I thought about this war of words. And before I go further, don't forget, family, clubvicky.com. Go to clubvicky.com to participate in my exclusive mastermind class on Wednesday evening, starting up again this Wednesday for question and answers. I've been doing it for a while now, but I'm starting back doing the question and answers live and exclusive access to me on Wednesdays at clubvicky.com. And also check out our store at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. Black family, we got to be more mature thinkers. Remember, I told you that the greatest threat to white supremacy is the big black brain. Watch this. Just because someone says something doesn't mean it makes it true. You have the right, in fact, the duty in a system of white supremacy that's based on lies and bloody murder, bloody black murder. You have a duty to test. You have a duty to try that information. When a person has a history of lying and in fact is known as a liar or the liar, you absolutely must vet, test, try, scrutinize, and verify every single thing that they say. Scriptures in the Holy Quran says that they mix truth with falsehood. But that same book also says that we hurl truth at falsehood until we knock out his brains. Watch this. Why doesn't he want to sit down? To defend these, what we know to be false and libelous and slanderous allegations against Minister Farrakhan and our people. Then I came across this brief clip of Minister Farrakhan debating, a type of debate. He was in an interview. Shout out to Black media that provided this link on social media. Copyright disclaimer under Copyright Act, a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for purposes of fair use, made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Y'all want to see this clip right here? Get your babies ready. Get your mind right. During this powerful interview, I'm getting it ready right now. During this powerful interview a few years ago, Minister Farrakhan was invited to be interviewed by what's considered to be a white legendary journalist by the name of Mike Wallace. How many of you all remember Mike Wallace from back in the day? Mike Wallace calls himself trying to rebuke and humiliate Minister Farrakhan for supporting Nigeria. Of course, Minister Farrakhan is a man of the world. He's traveled to many nations. He's treated as a head of state all over the world. He's counseled some of the top people around the globe. Watch this. Because he represents not the religion of Islam, but the nation of Islam. Y'all better talk black to me. Watch this. Watch this. Tina said, play that thing. I want you to see, I'm cueing it right now, what happened during this interview. Shout out to Black Media, provided by AX Media. This video. Somebody say shout out to Black Media that keeps these excerpts, these clips going. Of course, again, this is protected on the Copyright Act of 1976. Y'all watch this. Let's watch this, Black Media. Let's watch this. I begin to think this might be one of the reasons why they don't want to debate the minister. It's queuing right now, family. While it's queuing, beloved, hit that thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up on the count of 3. I'm getting it ready. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. Keep liking and sharing. Here we go, family. Getting our volume together. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, family, at Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. I'm almost at 20,000 followers on Instagram. I'm like, how did it happen? When did it happen? But I am so honored. So follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. I'm always giving information there. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Keep liking and sharing. Thousands of you in the chat today. We're so pleased that you are with us today, watching live and direct from FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Again, if you're watching us on one of our other associate or affiliate platforms, please like, follow, and share. Let them know that the Vicky Show is on. I love you back, J Love. I love your show. You're amazing, Sister Vicky. My family has woke up. Oh, that's beautiful. I hear that so much where people say their families are watching. They're watching me in stores and in salons. They're watching me on the job. Their children are watching. Their young men, young girls, their children. Even one lady, I think I shared this with you all. One of the sisters, she messaged and said that her little infant girl, she has a little toy with a hammer. So she says that when the Vicky Show comes on, her little baby girl has her plastic hammer. Y'all talk black to me. Don't tell me we're not changing the world. Plus the numerous testimonies I've told you where people said they've told their family about me, and those that have access on the inside, they've been sending them clips and so forth, and they're watching the Vicky Show inside, behind prison walls. Here we go. Watch this. Somebody say the big black brain. There are different kinds of warriors.
And it is. Africa, and it is. It could be the most corrupt nation in the world, Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, and now, Mr. Wallace.
It is the most corrupt nation that I have ever covered. I've been there 25 years ago, and I've been there as recently as last year.
Fine. So what? 35 years old. That's what that nation is. Now, here's America, 226 years old. You love democracy? But there in Africa, you're trying to force these people into a system of government that you just have accepted 30 years ago. Black folk got the right to vote. You're not in any moral position to tell anybody how corrupt they are. You should be quiet and let those of us who know our people go there and help them get out of that condition. But America should keep her mouth shut wherever there's a corrupt regime, as much hell as America has raised on the earth. No, I will not allow America or you, Mr. Wallace, to condemn them as the most corrupt nation on earth when you have spilled the blood of human beings. Has Nigeria dropped an atomic bomb and killed people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Have they killed off millions of Native Americans? How dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet, because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak. I will speak because I don't have that blood on my hand. Yes, there's corruption there. Yes, there's mismanagement of resources. Yes, there is abuse. There's abuse in every nation on earth, including this one. So let's not play holy to moralize on them. Let's help them.
I'm not moralizing. I'm asking a question, and I got an answer.
Why would you put it as the most corrupt regime in the world? That doesn't make sense.
Can you think of one more corrupt?
Yeah, I'm living in one.
My God, today, somebody said a big black brain reigns. Somebody said there are different kinds of soldiers. Y'all was just watching Warfare Unleashed right there. Y'all was watching that weapon of that mouth right there. They don't want to be humiliated before the world. That's the reason why they don't want to come publicly to back up those claims. Did y'all see him there sitting there shaking and quaking when the black man opens his mouth and hurls truth at falsehood until it knocks out his brain? Y'all feel that power? Somebody say power. Physically fighting is not the only way to conduct warfare. How many of you all heard the phrase that the pen is mightier than the sword? That same sentiment is also in the Holy Quran, but the pen is mightier than the sword. It's a similar principle when you deal with the mouth. You know it's true because that's the reason why they killed Malcolm. Malcolm was a powerful mouthpiece for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his principles. Malcolm knew how to perfect that thing. The reason why your government killed him and killed Martin Luther King, who stressed nonviolence. Martin Luther King, who called America the greatest purveyor of violence. Martin Luther King, who was anti-violent, was murdered by a violent nation because of what they said. They used to bring Minister Farrakhan on all major networks. How many of you all have seen old footage of him on television shows and all this kind of stuff? Even when people hated him, when they brought the minister on, even with his haters, he would still gain a powerful following. So they realized, man, even when we bringing him on, even when we try to make him look stupid, he keeps increasing. God today, remember that scripture that I showed you from the book of Exodus where Pharaoh was attacking the children of Israel? He continued to make mischief with them. And the Bible says that the more that he afflicted him, the more they multiplied and grew. So what did they do to Minister Farrakhan? They blacklisted him. They completely took him out of the public, out of mainstream media altogether. Some folks even thought Minister Farrakhan was dead. Somebody say power. They don't want that black masculinity. It might become contagious. See, it's the words that reveals what the scripture says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It's the mouth that reveals that man of sin, that man of lawlessness. Did y'all hear what I just said? Let me tell you something. Dr. Boyce Watkins said something so powerful the other day. On a clip, shout out to my brother Ilya Rashad. He put this clip in one of his videos. I don't even know if Dr. Boyce knows this or not. But Dr. Boyce did a commentary the other day on them attacking the minister. And one of the things that Minister Farrakhan said, that he said that the minister's detractors, those that are accusing him of all of these different things, he says that they're the ones that's considered to be powerful. He says, but when you're considered to be powerful, you don't have to be ethical. You don't even have to be telling the truth. You just have to have power. Black folk for so long have been deprived power. But how many of you all know, I've been telling you for some time that we are in the fullness of time. And that is to say that power in this season is coming from the ground up. I've been telling you for a long time that power is coming from the black grassroots. Let me tell you something. I am someone that they have labeled a felon. I am someone that they have labeled radical. But I also know I got something for the world that I was born with, and I've been born for this time. I also know that I'm hooked up to another dimension to do just what I'm doing now. God, today. I also know that the reason they came after me in the first place is because I was giving them that work. The revolution was going on in my life, and it wasn't televised before most of you ever even knew that a Vicky Dillard existed. Let me tell you something. It's written in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. Not many wise men after the flesh, not many noble, but God will use the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. In this season, power is coming from the ground up. And let me tell you something, Black family. These forms of alternative media, and I'm not talking about just on social media. There are Black media print publications like the Final Call newspaper that's given them that work and have been doing it for a long time. There are other platform and Black apps that our moderators are putting in the link. Dr. Boyce is linked up and partnered with a Black app that's similar to a Netflix that has a couple of Black shows that Dr. Boyce was partnered with that has hundreds of thousands of views. He was tweeting about it earlier today and I retweeted it. There are other forms, there are other platforms that are effective, that are sowing seeds. Are y'all hearing me today? There's a new mind. There are new thought leaders that are implanting new thoughts into the minds of people. How many of you all know this? And I heard Dr. Ava say this so powerfully, Attorney Dr. Ava, the other day. This was so powerful. This is so true. That there can be no transformation without revelation. You got to know something that you didn't know before in order to cause and to force a change. Somebody say shift. My goal is to inform and to inspire you with stuff. And it may not be all new stuff that I'm giving you, but it might be my perspective, my particular worldview or a vantage point that I give you that you maybe hadn't considered before. And that may spark something in you. And that one thought that I might have given you, you're going to turn around and run circles on me by producing fruit in your own life. Somebody talk Black to me. There can be no transformation without revelation. Whoever has the what? Superior thought has the superior action. If you want to change and become more effective, if you want to transform or transfigure, you've got to have access to new information or to a higher revelation. It matters who you're listening to. People that have large followings, large numbers, and large audience, it does not necessarily mean that they're producing quality people. What they're producing and the people that they're shaping will never make it into the hereafter. It's going to die at the same time that this world dies. My goal is to affect the worlds to come. Somebody talk Black to me. So yes, it matters who you listen to. It matters what you say. A brother said on one of the social media sites the other day, and many people have said this about me in one way or another. Some folks have said this. I shouldn't say many people. Thumbs up, family. 2,200 plus of you in the chat. Welcome to the Vicky Show. We're so pleased that you're with us today, and perhaps thousands will watch us later. Please like, share, and subscribe wherever you're watching us on whatever platform, whatever time zone you're watching us in. My name is Vicky Dillard. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit receive all notifications, and follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. Listen, somebody said, can't she just talk without, somebody used the word antics, I think, to describe me. Can't she just talk by just talking normal? Most times I don't even respond to stuff like that. And obviously, a lot of times I don't even see a lot of those comments, but from time to time I do. So I know that that sentiment is out there. Let me tell you something. This is not the Rachel Maddow show. This is not Chris Cuomo's show. This is not your average Becky and Karen that's giving you the nightly news. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. The reason you all love Malcolm X was not because he was sitting there monotone and unenergetic, devoid of spirit. When I say it the way that I say it, I'm giving it to you the way the energy and the spirit moves through me. And if you don't let me do it my way, you won't get the power behind what I say. What I'm talking about, the content that I'm referring to when we're dealing with the stuff of God's chosen people, when you're dealing with issues that deal with end time, when you're dealing with the shift and the changing of the gods and the changing of the new worlds, that's not something that requires me to be normal about. When Dr. King spoke, none of you brothers sit there and say, why don't he just talk normal? Why he got to lift his voice like that and yell like that and make that face like that and shake his head like that and move his body? Some of you would never even say that to Minister Farrakhan. I was watching some of the other clips of Minister Farrakhan where he's jumping around and stuff. I mean, I was on fire when he was running. When he was moving, I was moving too. This white supremacist world has got you believing that the way they do news, the way they do life is the right way. I told you, Black folk, we are more than what meets the eye in terms of the way that we receive information. I'm trying to give you something in your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. I'm speaking to you the 3D and the 5D. And I'm giving you something that you don't even know that you're getting, that you may be able to use 6 months from now, and you don't even know that that was deposited into your spirit. You better go to one of them other networks and then stay in bondage while you listen to them. Somebody talk black to me. I wish I would. I responded to this brother with respect, with one word, full sentence. Can't she just talk without all them antics? I said, never. Period. And I moved about my day. Somebody talk black to me. I think we got all the evidence that we need as to why they're not sitting down to debate Minister Farrakhan. Let me tell you something, Black family. You're already powerful. Power is coming from the ground up. Let me tell you something. What's the name of that show, y'all? Them hillbilly show. What's the name of that hillbilly show that was on back in the day? And they became rich because then they found some Beverly Hillbillies. God today. Then they found oil or something in there in the ground or something. Watch this. Let me tell you something. The principle of the Beverly Hillbillies is that they were sitting on resources that they didn't even know that they had. Oil. And it was in the ground. It wasn't obvious that they were rich. Y'all play too much. Till one day they discovered, y'all play too much. I don't even remember how the song goes. Y'all remember how the song goes, some of the words of the song? Do y'all remember some of the words of that hillbilly song from the beginning of that show? Somebody put in here Texas tea. Y'all watch this. That's right, Texas tea, that oil, huh? Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. ClubVicky.com for exclusive access to my mastermind class where I'll be live and direct to drop some jewels and to answer some of your questions. ClubVicky.com. Go to our store, shopfnq.com. What was the name of that? I wish I could remember some of those. Listen, Billy, they was rich and didn't even know it. I'm trying to let you know, family. Green Acres. Some of y'all don't know that some of them, you got something in you that you just hadn't discovered yet. And it's right under your nose. Somebody, thank you. Now there's a little story about a name named, what is it? Jay Grady or whatever. Is that the song? Jed. A man named Jed. That's what it said. A man named Jed. Y'all help me. Watch this. I'm trying to tell you that power is coming from the ground up in the same way. That's where they found that oil. It was underground. I'm telling you, power in this season is coming from us. Those they consider to be nobodies. We're going to be producing. Those that don't have degrees and producing businesses and making the world a better place. And those that do have the degrees is sitting there working at McDonald's and paying back an $80,000 student loan. No disrespect for those of you that have loaned it. I'm just trying to let you know that God would use some of the most foolish resources and people to do stuff that's powerful. But because you are so committed to the crumbling world of your open enemy, you're not going to get in on it. because you still trying to level up in a world that God has determined Babylon has fallen. You trying to level up. You still trying to get clout in Babylon, and Babylon has fallen. There's a new world on the horizon. You're not interested in that new world because you're so enamored by that old world, but that old world's getting ready to get out of here. I say to what the scouts of the promised land said, God is with us. Y'all play too much. God is with us. But some of you haven't tested your powers. Some of you haven't tested your powers. And I want you to do just that. Keep resisting the what? And he will what? This is our time. Our unity is stronger than an atomic bomb. I love you to pieces, Black family. I got to get ready to go. Share this with everybody that you know. You can send this to Alan Dershowitz. You can send this to the ADL. You can send this to some of the other haters of the ministry. And any of the bootlicks and bones and biscuits. Send this to them too. Those that's a part of that community. Send this to them. Y'all talk black to me. I cannot wait till you sign up at clubvicky.com. Check out our store at shopfnq.com. By the way, if you want to learn how to build a black business from black folk, and how many of you all know that we ought to be doing that, even if it's a side hustle, so that you can have an extra stream of income, I want you to go to flynubianbusiness.com. All of these links have been in the chat throughout. Flynubianbusiness.com. If you want to learn how to invest, you want to go to flynubianmoney.com. Flynubianbusiness.com. Flynubianmoney.com. We love you so much. I love you to pieces. It is my honor to serve you today. I can't wait to see you again. Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow me on Instagram, Vicky X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicky X Dillard. I came to you in peace. I leave you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Shalom. Free the land, beloved.